ITM, and welcome back to another episode of Real Boring Flips. I'm Kevin, and we're going to cover what sold in June. Now, as promised last month, I told you we probably weren't going to need two episodes, barely one episode, to cover everything we sold in the month of June. Spoiler alert, we only had 49 sales between our two stores, but to be honest, not terrible. We'll cover the numbers when we come back. But just wanted to say again, thank you for all the new subscribers that we've had come in the last month or two. That's encouraging. We're trying to build this channel. We're really trying to do as much as we can to provide as much value as we can. This is a value for value model that we use, which is we try and give you as much value as possible, and then in return you give us value by liking, subscribing, sending comments, sharing the videos with other people you think might enjoy this content. And so if you enjoy this kind of content and you aren't a subscriber, please consider doing that. That really helps. We are doing much more regular videos. We try to have one out every Tuesday and then every other Friday or so. But in a minute, we're going to run over to the other desk. We'll run through everything we sold in the month of June, and then we'll pop back over here and finish up the video. But we know that's not why you're here. We know you're here because you want to find out what is Kevin enjoying today. And what I'm enjoying today is, I think it's going to work out well for me, at least for the rest of the day. This is Fit Aid, and this is a blackberry pineapple. So it's got tons of stuff. I'm going to just go down the list. We've got caffeine from green tea, BCAAs, I don't even know what that is, but I do know what electrolytes are, turmeric, vitamins B, C, D3, and E, something else, and glucosamine. So tons of stuff in this Fit Aid. It's just one can is going to give you all of that. So let's see what we got here. 15 calories, by the way. So we're going to pop this open. I think the flavor is going to be tremendous. You definitely taste the blackberry over the pineapple, but excellent. Not a sponsor, by the way. Okay, we're going to jump over to the other desk, run through everything we got, and then we'll pop back over here. We'll talk about the numbers, the kind of the net numbers, so you get an idea of what we actually are making out of this, out of these sales. And we'll also talk about a little bit of the future for what we're doing here at Real Boring Flips. So jump over and come back when you're ready. Okay, first up was this vintage Bop It. I actually had two of these in my hand at the Value Village that I bought this one from. But the other one was pretty beat up, had some cosmetic damage, so I left that one behind. I kept this one. I paid $3.85 and I got my full asking of $17.88, or as we say on Real Boring Flips, $18. As you saw in my last thrifting video, I got a ton of Playmobil sets from a estate sale where the seller was a toy store owner who had passed, and that house was filled with displays, unopened, unused display sets. So these were sets that were shipped to a store, partially completed. And in this case, this was the pirate ship, a lighthouse, and then also a accessory life raft and sea monster, all that stuff. All the little pieces and parts were still sealed, and I did not ship this in the original box. It was damaged, but I did show it in the listing that this was a store display, and I got my full asking of $300. I probably had $30, maybe $40 into just this set based on what I've spent for everything. I never pass these sealed Monster High dolls when I find them in Goodwill. If you find them in like your local Marshalls or Ross, those ones don't tend to be worth any more than they are charging in the store. But in this case, This one, Creep Over, was a good pickup at $13, and I got my full asking of $65 plus shipping. All my listings typically charge shipping. This next item I've had for a long time. It was probably part of one of the very first estate sale buys I made when I decided to get into the reselling business after selling on and off on eBay for years. We set about 5 or 6 years ago, decided we would do this as a business when I retired, and this was part of a large vintage Christmas lot. I don't know why this one took forever to sell, but I got my full asking price of $25. I probably had $4, maybe $5 into this one. You know, I buy juicers and things like juicers, bread machines, blenders, and this was a new juice machine to me, a Bella Sensio. Had not picked one of those up, but I was surprised at how quickly I was able to sell parts on this. I paid $2 for the whole unit. I got my full asking of $13 for just this piece. Years ago, I bought an entire room at an estate sale filled with computer and electronics, and I've made thousands and thousands, over $10,000 so far, and thousands of dollars more to go. And I paid $1,400 for the entire room, and this is just a simple hard drive. These are less desirable. I've sold many, many hard drives for hundreds of dollars. This one, I got my full asking of $13. I probably had less than $1 into it, maybe 50 cents. And got a couple more, so if you're interested, let me know. Now here's another new to me juicer model. I paid $2 for this NutriBullet juicer, and I've actually sold several parts to that as well. So I got my full asking of $9. I paid $2 for the whole juicer. I probably won't continue buying these just as a method to kind of move out of the juicer business unless I get them cheap. I do get these cheap, and so I will continue getting cordless telephone handsets. In this case, it was an AT&T model. Now I get these so cheap, pennies, and I just make the listing a quantity listing, typically just the handset and a charger. I don't even normally bother with the full sets, just a handset and a charger, or just a handset. Make the listing, have the quantities, put them in my inventory, and when they sell, they sell. This one I took an offer at $10. I typically ask about $12 for these, or $13. So I took a couple of dollars off, but pennies into it. This Air Hogs was kind of a unique one. I actually took a 50% off offer just to move this one along. I paid $20 for it at Goodwill, and what was unique about it was it had never been used, but someone had clearly received it as a gag, birthday, or some kind of gift, because they had put all kinds of little stickers on it. So I did open the package, remove all the stickers. It was never used, never out of the package, so I was able to sell it as a new item, and $100 was still good. I just, with no comps, I just made up my own price of $200. Sometimes that's all you need, is someone to feel like they got a great deal. This little set of Legos came from my neighbor's garage sale. I bought all their Legos for $30. My son went through them. I've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars out of that garage sale. Still a little bit to go, but good news. The next year I got another set of Legos from my other neighbor for $10, and now I've got hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go. A lot of Pirates of the Caribbean, Black Pearl, several ships, all the sails, all the minifigures, tons of stuff to go. I took an offer at $30. I probably had a couple of dollars into this. I don't remember buying this game. I think I had this one and like a sequel game. I sold the sequel a while ago, and this one was just hanging around, not worth much. I took an offer at $13. I probably had a couple of dollars into it from a garage sale. These little shoes came to me at a free garage sale. I was out garage selling, and in one house they just had everything free. So I got a couple of pairs of shoes there. This was the last pair to go. I took an offer at $10. So recently, actually in my latest video, I had a comment about why I was bothering to look at board games at an estate sale, and these kinds of games are why I look at board games. Now this one I got at Goodwill, but you have to put your eye to board games. They're not all going to be like this, but I got my full asking of $150. I paid $15 for this game. I had seen other resellers sell these rolly kits. I found one at Goodwill, pretty good condition, had all the dividers. It was $5. It took a little while to sell. I probably wouldn't buy it again, but I got my full asking of $30. This game also sat around for a while until I decided to list it. I listed it, got my full asking of $23. I had paid $5 for it at Goodwill. Here's a game that we bought at our Marshall's on clearance last year, I think. I paid $65 for it, but it was a sealed Monopoly 90th anniversary game. I knew I would get something, and I actually took an offer at $162, which was very close to my list price. When I'm out and about at thrift stores or garage sales or wherever, I look through the books where I look for anything mystical, some kind of something that leads me to believe that there's an interest from a certain crowd, and this book turned out to be just one of those. I don't know why it caught my eye on the bookshelf. I paid $2.75 at Value Village, and I got my full asking of $170. Many times when I'm at Goodwill, I'll look through the tool aisle real quick just to see if I spot any valuable tools, or tools like I've got a bag of Snap-on nut drivers once. In this case, this was easy to spot. There were two DeWalt cordless ratchet impact wrenches, one really beat up and one like this one, big, very nice, very clean. And I was able to actually buy this drill for $15 and a battery charger and a battery for another $5. And so I was able to test this, worked perfectly. My buyer paid my list price of $90, was super happy with it. And now I've got a battery and a drill, and I've got a couple of other loose tools like this, so I'll be able to test those and list them as well. And I'll just hang on to the battery and battery charger. Here's a doll that I was on the fence about buying. I paid $13 for it, and I got a $35 offer, so I went ahead and took it. The packaging was just a little, I had a little bit of shelf wear, but was still new in the package, so I think that dropped some of the value. I don't know. I got all of these rat traps over I think a couple of different estate sales or garage sales. I thought that would have been worth more. I finally dropped the price. I got my full asking of $23 plus shipping. I probably had $2.50 into these. I actually have a couple more, but they were slightly different packaging, so I didn't want to list them together. So I've got a couple more if anyone's interested. So this bat, I got this, I'm sure I got this at a garage sale Years ago, I bought basically all of the bats they had for a couple of dollars a piece. Not a lot of money for these. I got my full asking of $20, but this one had an unusually long journey, and I'll show you pictures of the FedEx tracking. I'm still trying to get a refund on my shipping to send off to the buyer. The buyer was super patient, understood that nothing I could do about it. But yeah, very frustrating. Okay, I've sold my third water distiller this year. I started with another Waterwise, a bigger one, and then I ended up with this one. Then I ended up with another brand, an H2O brand. I've sold them all for really good money. This one I got my full asking of $130. Now I think I only paid about $14 or $15 for this unit, but then it was missing the little charcoal filter. So I went ahead and bought a brand new filter for it, which was another $15, $16. So I doubled my cost by buying the filter. If it had a filter attached, I would have just sold it that way. But since it didn't have a filter at all, I felt like I should at least add that to the lot. So I had about $32 in on this. You didn't see me buy these because I bought this bag of Micro Machines on a second trip into my Goodwill. I had gone in, filmed some purchases, and then I went to the grocery store next door, and then I decided I would run back in just for a quick minute to see if anything new had popped up. This bag was hanging on the wall. I grabbed it. It was $22. It sold so fast. I took an offer at $237. Here's the top to the NutriBullet juicer. I sold the blade earlier, and so I've got two parts sold of that that $2 total investment. Got my full asking of $13 for this part. And here's another juicer blade. I hardly ever sell these, but this Hamilton Beach version seems to sell well. I got my full asking of $10. Now I don't buy these anymore, and this is probably why. I had this for a long time, and when I have items like this, before I ship them, once I sell them, before I ship them, I do another test on these things. So I put some batteries in it, I put a tape in it, and it played just fine, but if you turn the volume up, it just had a horrible whine. So before I shipped it, I contacted the buyer, let him know if he wanted to cancel. He said he was fine with it, but I went ahead and I just discounted him 50% anyway. I had about $5 into it. I had gotten my full asking of $25, so I still got $12.50 out of it. This was a cool chess set. I kind of wanted to keep it, but what am I going to do with everything? And I took an offer at $25. I only had about $6 or $7 into it. Pretty cool chess set. I think Simpson's stuff, for the most part, is a pretty automatic. You got to check it out when you're out thrifting. Now here's a blade assembly for a Ninja. This is an Ultima system. I had gotten this whole setup at a garage sale for $5 because the lady said she didn't think the motor worked, and it sure didn't. But I got this. I got the pitcher. I got a bowl. I've sold probably over $50 now in parts from that $5 investment. I took an offer at $7 for this. These are one of the best-selling parts of a Jack LaLanne juicer, these pulp bins or pulp cups. I got my full asking of $20. I only paid $2 for the whole juicer, and usually I get about $30 to $40 in sales. I knew this was going to be great when I saw it on the shelf for $4, and it worked great. listed it. It sold pretty quickly. This one went international. I got my full asking of $40. These this dish set I thought was pretty cool. It just reaffirmed why I don't like selling stuff like this. Such a pain to pack up and ship. I paid $8 for this set, and I got my full asking. Now it was on sale. I had placed it on sale when it sold, so it sold for $44.91 on sale. But I don't like selling stuff like this. I just don't. These I think are coming back around. I've sold a bunch of these, and at some point I stopped even buying them. But now I think I'm going to start looking at them again. I got my full asking of $20. I had about $6 or $7 into this one. And if I can get them cheap enough, then I think it's probably worth it. Okay, so here's the third one of this model of the Mr. Coffee iced tea pitchers that I've sold. I think this is the best model. And weirdly, this is the third of three that had the same defect where the little plastic hook was broken off. So I continued to use my same listing, not even new pictures, just post the listing and it sells. I took an offer of $19 for this. I got this one at the Goodwill bins, my first Goodwill bins shopping experience. And after the total number of items I got and what I paid about $2 for this. So I don't remember getting this. I have a ton of games like this though. I don't remember where I got this one. I probably got it at a garage sale for probably $4 or $5. I got my full asking of $25. This was another one of those weird, don't put anything in it, it's a gift. But in this case, I think it was a gift. But just weird. I don't know why people need to do that. I did tell the buyer that I would put a copy of the shipping label inside the box, just as a precaution in case the box was damaged in any way. So now that's all the sales from our main store. We've got a few on our sister site. You've seen us, we've been selling these Chuck Missler Bible commentary sets. That's a mouthful. I sold another set. This one was the Hebrews set. So this is a book and then a couple of cases of cassettes. And I got my full asking of $40. I got these for free, all of these things for free. And so we've been selling pretty regularly. I think you'll see another one a little bit later on. I was worried I was just getting a bunch of stuff that would never sell because they were cassette tapes. And I think you can download some of this stuff off of their website, but I think they change over time. So if you want the original version, you got to get it on cassette. So here's something we almost didn't sell. This was a vintage Talking Barney, the old Barney, not the new one they have now that doesn't sound anything like Barney. I took an offer of $21. I paid $7 for it. Here's another a Bible study on Romans. This was book 2 or volume 2. And this is a CD-ROM set. I got this at the free rummage sale. I basically put $1 into buying this, and I got a $17 offer. So here's Through the Bible, book 5 of a 5-book series. You saw me get this recently at an estate sale. It sold pretty quickly. I took an offer of $14. I just got a whole set of all 5 volumes at another sale that you'll be seeing coming up soon. This was a great find. You've heard me talk about finding great new Breville kitchen appliances in my Goodwill. This was another one, a very boring flip type of item. New in the box, sous vide device, a small one. I paid $10 for it, It sold fast. I got my full asking of $170. It was easy to test. You install an app on your phone, it connects, you go to town, and this thing sold so fast. Okay, these next two items, you're going to see these in next month's sales because I did it again. I shipped this Folk Manus Blue Monster puppet to the person who bought the Mage Knight Conquest figure. Fortunately, both people were motivated. They wanted their items, so they were more than happy to let me send them a shipping label so they could return them. I wish eBay had an easier way to allow shipping. In this case, allow my buyers to ship the items directly to each other. eBay just doesn't have a great system for that. So I had them ship them back to me. I refunded both buyers, relisted both items, and the way I did this was I relisted the items at basically double what they should ever sell for, so that no one would buy them without my buyer having a chance. And then I had them both send me offers at $5 below what they previously had paid. So I basically didn't make any money on the Mage Knight. I still made a little bit of money on the Blue Monster. But what a hassle. I can't believe this happened again. It's happened twice now in a couple of months. And so I really got to get my act together. I have no idea how that happened. I sold some more ink here. Well, actually, I should tell you, the Folk Manus, I had gotten my full asking price, my on sale asking price of $44.91. I paid $8 for that. I also paid $8 for the Mage Knight, and I had taken an offer of $30. So you'll see how in next month's sales, you'll see those again at the reduced price. Now, I also had to pay the shipping both ways, so really disappointing, but at least I got two happy buyers out of this. Here's the ink I was talking about. I get ink, and when it expires, I pretty much, it's hard to sell expired ink if it's very expired. These weren't too expired, and so I was able to get my full asking of $40 and basically had nothing into these. Here's some more Chuck Missler cassette, another cassette series. I got my full asking of $50 on this one, plus shipping. Here's another item I got at the Goodwill bins, my first bin shopping. You'll see that in a video coming out soon. But I got this Ninja blender bowl. It didn't have a blade, but guess what? I had some blades here in inventory, so I just put a blade in with it. And I did reduce it because it did have a crack at the base, but not in the bowl, or not in an important part. So I reduced the price to $35, and I got that relatively quickly. Here's some more ink like I just mentioned. I took an offer of $15. I had really nothing into these. And the final item, you saw me buy this item. I was finally found one on video for you guys. Finally found one. I went back and bought the remote control that went with it. Listed it. I took an offer. It sold really fast, but I needed a sale. This month has been terrible. So I took an offer at $120. I paid $15 altogether with the Connect box and the remote control. So it was a nice sale to end the month. Okay, and we're back. As promised, even though with low sales, we really had some great sales. For our type of store, what we kind of focus on, the boring stuff that people pass over, we had great kitchen stuff, toy stuff, tools stuff, just a little spectrum of everything that you can also buy and sell on your own. So let me just give you a kind of a quick synopsis of numbers between the two stores. We had 36 sales from our main store, 13 from our secondary store, which is promising because it's been a slow start as we were trying to build up the inventory in that store. So we had gross sales in the main store of $27.50.72 and secondary store $823.57. So total 49 sales, $3,574.29. And then we had the shipping charge to ship those things. We got paid for shipping in the gross. The shipping charge was $513 for all the 49 items. And then, so the 49 items cost us $520 basically. So our net was $2,541. So that's not terrible for us. I think we would like to have that as the floor, and ideally I'd like to see us approach double that. So not completely terrible, but definitely what we want to see as the bottom. Some of the items were really great. That big Playmobil set, I had never seen the store display sets, especially boxed store display sets. So we've got many more Playmobil, and you'll see some coming up in future What Solds. Again, a lot of the boring standards we have: juicer parts, blender parts, bread machine parts, telephone handsets. A lot of that stuff is just kind of the bread and butter, easy. They come in at low cost, and then they just kind of go out when they go out. Lots of great board games too, which I'm really happy with, because I did get a lot of comments on one of the previous videos questioning why I was even looking at board games. So some really great board games, some great books, tremendous books when you can buy them for $2 and sell them for $170. Just really the stuff that people pass over, stuff we focus on, the boring stuff. Some great tools, some great, just great amount of stuff, stuff that kind of added to my tool bag of things to look for, things I didn't expect when I bought them to sell for great money, and they did. So again, just thank you for watching. Thank you for liking videos. Thank you for subscribing. If you know somebody who you think would enjoy this content as well, please share the video. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. As I said earlier, we do this in the value for value model. We want to give you as much value as we can. So I love the comments, I love the interactions. I even love watching the commenters commenting to other commenters. So really enjoy that. So thank you for doing that. And as I always say, join me again next time. So of course, as I'm editing the video, I realize I never told you what this future stuff is we're doing. And so we started renovating our shop that's on our property. And this is it used to be a horse barn, horse stalls at one point. When we moved here, it was partially renovated, but really not usable for what we needed. So we're in the process of completely outfitting this so that I will be able to use this entire shop for eBay. And it's been a long time coming. I really had to decide. I was just going to have to wait until I retired to be able to do this. Even with all this work, we've been able to kind of keep eBay going, keep YouTube going. And so that's another reason why we really are appreciative of the new subscribers, the viewers, the comments. It's really kind of boosted us in wanting to continue getting this done, getting us moved over here, getting us out of the apartment for the most part, and then seeing where we go with a kind of a new setup. Right now, we kind of are just jumbled up. And when I bring new stuff in, I've got to haul it up into the apartment. And now with the shop, I'll be able to drive in, unload. We'll be able to immediately inventory, go right to listing, and then to storage. And so we'll have a much cleaner process, and hoping that really helps us kind of increase our sales, increase our productivity as well. just spending so much time going up and down stairs, and then dealing with the mass chaos that's currently in the apartment. So I realized after I got started editing the video that I never actually talked about what I said in the first part of the video, where we're going to talk about some future plans. This is our future plans to finish this out. Now, we're just about to get siding, paint, gutters, and then I'll still have some electrical work and insulation on the inside, but other than that, we'll be ready to roll. Now, we also have 2 storage units, so that's going to be a process, getting those empty, getting the shop outfitted for the full use. But we're excited about this new part of our eBay business, and we'll give you updates on the channel as we go along. There you have it.